Listen carefully. There are moments in life that arrive without warning. Moments that split your existence into two chapters, the person you used to be and the person you are becoming. This is one of those moments, because somewhere beyond the noise, beyond the fear, beyond the endless distractions fighting for your attention, there is a voice calling you. Not a voice you hear with your ears, a voice you feel deep inside your soul. A voice that has been following you since the day you were born. And tonight, I want you to imagine something. Imagine placing your hand over your chest. Feel the rhythm, feel the movement. Feel the steady drumbeat that has carried you through every victory, every heartbreak, every sleepless night, every impossible challenge. Now ask yourself a question. What if every pulse of your heart whispers your name? What if every beat is a reminder that you were never created to live an ordinary life? What if your heart is not merely keeping you alive, but constantly calling you toward the person you were meant to become? Most people never ask these questions. They wake up. They survive. They repeat yesterday. They settle for less than they deserve. They silence their dreams because the world convinced them to be realistic. But you are not here to be realistic. You are here to be remarkable. You are here because something inside you refuses to die. I know that feeling. I remember standing at the edge of uncertainty. I remember the nights when success felt distant and impossible. I remember looking around and wondering if everyone else had some secret map that I never received. There were moments when rejection became my companion. Moments when failure sat beside me like a shadow. Moments when the future looked like a locked door with no key. Yet every time I wanted to quit, something happened. My heart kept beating, not because it was easy, not because I was confident, not because I knew the outcome. It kept beating, because life itself was reminding me that my story was not finished. The heartbeat is one of the greatest symbols of destiny. It never asks permission. It never waits for perfect conditions. It never negotiates with fear. It simply continues. And perhaps that is the first lesson you need to hear today. Progress does not require perfection. You do not need complete certainty before taking the next step. You do not need everyone's approval before pursuing your vision. You do not need guarantees before believing in yourself. The people who transform their lives are not the people who know everything. They are the people who move forward while still figuring things out. Think about that. The entrepreneur who built an empire did not begin with an empire. The visionary who changed an industry did not begin with influence. The leader who inspired millions did not begin with a crowd. Every giant once stood where you stand now, with questions, with doubts, with fears. But they made a decision. They trusted the whisper inside them more than the noise around them. That whisper is speaking to you right now. It speaks through your curiosity. It speaks through your ambition. It speaks through the dreams that refuse to leave you alone. It speaks through the feeling that there must be more waiting for you. Many people misunderstand destiny. They imagine destiny as a magical event, a lucky break, a sudden miracle, a perfect opportunity appearing from nowhere. But destiny rarely arrives like lightning. More often, it arrives disguised as discipline. It arrives disguised as persistence. It arrives disguised as showing up one more day when nobody is watching. The world celebrates outcomes. Destiny rewards consistency. That is why so many people give up too early. They expect immediate results. They expect visible progress. They expect applause before achievement. When those things fail to appear, they abandon the path. But extraordinary lives are built in invisible seasons. Seeds grow underground long before they break through the surface. Mountains are carved by rivers that never stop flowing. Diamonds are created under pressure. And greatness is born in moments when nobody believes in you except yourself. Never underestimate the power of invisible progress. Every book you read matters. Every skill you learn matters. Every disciplined choice matters. Every setback that teaches you resilience matters. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. Everything is preparing you for something larger than you can currently see. There is a reason why your challenges feel heavy, because your future is heavy with responsibility. There is a reason why your path feels difficult, because easy roads rarely lead to extraordinary destinations. There is a reason why you feel different, because people who create change rarely fit into existing patterns. The world tries to convince you that comfort is success. It is not. Comfort is pleasant. Growth is powerful. Comfort keeps you where you are. Growth takes you where you belong. The greatest breakthroughs often arrive immediately after the greatest resistance. That is why you must learn to interpret struggle differently. Stop seeing obstacles as signs to quit. Start seeing them as signs that you are approaching a new level. Every challenge asks a question. Will you retreat or will you rise? Every setback asks a question. Will you become bitter or will you become stronger? Every disappointment asks a question. Will you surrender your vision or will you sharpen it? Life is constantly testing your commitment, not because it wants to destroy you, because it wants to reveal you. Gold is refined by fire. Character is refined by adversity. Vision is refined by persistence. And confidence is refined by action. Confidence does not appear before action. Confidence is created through action. Many people wait to feel ready. They wait for motivation. They wait for courage. They wait for certainty. Meanwhile, the people who succeed understand something profound. Action creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. Commitment creates confidence. You do not think your way into a new life. You act your way into one. The person you want to become is waiting on the other side of a decision. One decision to stop doubting yourself. One decision to stop shrinking your dreams. One decision to stop asking for permission. One decision to trust your potential. One decision to begin, because every transformation starts with a beginning, and beginnings are rarely dramatic. They are usually quiet, a promise made in private, a commitment nobody else understands, a step taken before evidence exists. The world sees the success later, but the real victory happens much earlier. The real victory happens when you decide that your future deserves your full effort. There is immense power in believing that abundance is available to you, not because you are entitled to it, because you are capable of creating value. Wealth is not merely money. Wealth is vision. Wealth is discipline. Wealth is contribution. Wealth is the ability to turn ideas into reality. The richest people in the world understand a simple truth. Your external world eventually reflects your internal world. If your mind is filled with limitations, your life will reflect limitations. If your mind is filled with possibilities, your life will reflect possibilities. That is why protecting your mindset is essential. Guard your thoughts, guard your focus, guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. Not everyone deserves influence over your future. Be selective about what you allow into your mind, because your mind is the birthplace of everything you will become. The future is being built inside your thoughts before it appears in your reality. Imagine waking up every morning with absolute certainty that your life matters. Imagine walking through challenges with unshakable confidence. Imagine looking at obstacles and seeing opportunities. Imagine refusing to let temporary circumstances define permanent possibilities. That version of you already exists. It is not someone you become. It is someone you uncover. The strongest version of yourself is already within you. The courageous version, the disciplined version, the visionary version, the unstoppable version. Your task is not to create that person. Your task is to remove everything standing in the way. Remove the excuses. Remove the self-doubt. Remove the fear of judgment. Remove the belief that you are not enough, because you have always been enough to begin. Growth is not becoming worthy. Growth is recognizing your worth and expanding it. And now I want you to think about your future. Picture yourself 5 years from now. What does that person look like? How do they speak? How do they think? How do they carry themselves? How do they handle challenges? How do they respond to setbacks? How do they treat opportunities? The gap between who you are and who you want to become is not a mystery. It is built from daily habits, small decisions repeated consistently, tiny improvements compounded over time. One disciplined day becomes a disciplined week. One disciplined week becomes a disciplined month. One disciplined month becomes a transformed life. Success is rarely explosive. It is usually cumulative. It is the result of thousands of invisible choices. And every one of those choices begins now, not tomorrow, not next year. Now, this moment matters. This decision matters. This heartbeat matters. Because every pulse is proof that your story continues. Every pulse is proof that possibility remains alive. Every pulse is proof that another chapter can still be written. Every pulse is proof that you have not reached the end. You are still here, still breathing, still dreaming, still fighting, still becoming. And that means something extraordinary. It means life has not given up on you. It means destiny has not forgotten you. It means your greatest chapter may still be ahead. When people see extraordinary success, they often assume they are witnessing luck. What they are actually witnessing is years of unseen preparation, years of sacrifice, years of persistence, years of refusing to quit. The breakthrough appears sudden. The preparation was not. Your breakthrough is being prepared right now. In conversations you have not yet had, in opportunities you have not yet seen, in skills you are still developing, in lessons you are still learning. Trust the process. Trust the growth. Trust the journey. Most importantly, trust yourself. Because there is something magnificent about a person who continues despite uncertainty, a person who continues despite fear, a person who continues despite setbacks, a person who continues despite criticism. That person becomes unstoppable. And I believe that person is you, not because life will become easier, but because you will become stronger, not because obstacles will disappear, but because your capacity will expand, not because fear will vanish, but because courage will become greater than fear. So the next time doubt enters your mind, place your hand over your heart. Listen carefully. That rhythm is not random. That pulse is not ordinary. That beat has carried you through every challenge you thought would break you. And it is still carrying you forward. Let it remind you that resilience lives within you. Let it remind you that abundance is available to you. Let it remind you that your future is waiting for your courage. Let it remind you that your potential is far greater than your current circumstances. And above all, let it remind you that every pulse of your heart whispers your name, not the name the world gave you, the name destiny knows, the name possibility knows, the name greatness knows, the name of the person you are becoming. Stand up, lift your vision, raise your standards, trust your journey, honor your purpose, and move forward with absolute conviction. Because your future is not calling from a distance anymore, it is standing at the door, and every beat of your heart is announcing its arrival. There is one more truth that very few people are willing to accept. The life you desire is not waiting for you to become perfect. It is waiting for you to become committed. Perfection is one of the most dangerous illusions ever created. It convinces talented people to stay invisible. It convinces dreamers to delay action. It convinces visionaries to remain spectators in a game they were born to play. Look around. The people changing the world are not perfect. The people building businesses are not perfect. The people leading movements are not perfect. The people creating wealth are not perfect. They simply decided that progress was more important than perfection. And that decision changed everything. I want you to remember a moment from your life, a moment when you almost gave up, a moment when exhaustion sat on your shoulders like a mountain, a moment when the future looked darker than the present. Yet somehow you survived, somehow you kept moving, somehow you found strength you did not know existed. Think about that. You have already overcome challenges that once looked impossible. You have already survived days that once felt unbearable. You have already defeated versions of yourself that doubted you. Why would you stop now? Why would you surrender when you have already proven your resilience? The evidence of your strength is everywhere. It exists in every scar, every lesson, every disappointment, every comeback. Every chapter that tried to end your story but failed. The strongest people are not the ones who never break. They are the ones who refuse to stay broken. That is where true power lives. Not in avoiding storms, but in learning how to walk through them. And every storm teaches something valuable. Pain teaches perspective. Failure teaches strategy. Loss teaches appreciation. Pressure teaches strength. Time teaches wisdom. Nothing enters your life without carrying a lesson. The question is whether you will collect the lesson or only focus on the pain, because the same experience can create two different people. One becomes bitter, the other becomes better. One becomes a victim, the other becomes a creator. One spends years asking, "Why did this happen to me?" The other asks, "What can this teach me?" Your questions shape your destiny. Ask empowering questions and your mind will search for empowering answers. Ask limiting questions and your mind will build limiting beliefs. That is why successful people guard their internal dialogue so carefully. They understand that before they can conquer the world, they must first conquer themselves. Your greatest competition is not another person. It is the voice that says, "You cannot do it." The voice that reminds you of old failures, the voice that exaggerates risk and minimizes possibility, the voice that whispers fear when opportunity appears. That voice will never disappear completely, but it does not need to. You do not need to destroy doubt. You only need to stop obeying it. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward while fear watches from the sidelines. And every time you choose courage, something extraordinary happens. You expand, your identity expands, your confidence expands, your influence expands, your opportunities expand, your future expands. Life responds to expansion. Doors open for those who keep moving. Possibilities reveal themselves to those who keep believing. Miracles often appear disguised as persistence. Most people quit one step before the breakthrough, one conversation before the opportunity, one attempt before the success, one lesson before the understanding, one day before the momentum arrives. Do not be one of those people. Stay in the game. Stay committed. Stay focused, because momentum is closer than it appears. A rocket uses most of its energy during launch. The hardest part is not maintaining motion. The hardest part is creating it. The same is true in life. The beginning feels heavy. The climb feels difficult. The discipline feels uncomfortable. But eventually something shifts. What once felt impossible becomes normal. What once felt difficult becomes automatic. What once required effort becomes identity. And identity changes everything. When success becomes part of your identity, discipline no longer feels like sacrifice. When growth becomes part of your identity, challenges no longer feel like punishment. When abundance becomes part of your identity, opportunities become easier to recognize. You stop chasing success. You start becoming the kind of person success follows. That is the real transformation. Not changing what you have, changing who you are, because who you are determines what you attract. A fearful mind attracts hesitation. A confident mind attracts opportunity. A disciplined mind attracts results. A grateful mind attracts abundance. An empowered mind attracts possibilities. And every day gives you a chance to strengthen that identity. Every sunrise is a new invitation. Every heartbeat is a new opportunity. Every challenge is a new test. Every choice is a new vote for the person you are becoming. Vote wisely. Vote consistently. Vote daily. Because the future is counting every decision. The world may never see your private battles. It may never witness the sacrifices. It may never understand the effort. But none of that matters. Your mission is not to impress the world. Your mission is to fulfill your potential. And potential is a sacred responsibility. You were not given dreams by accident. You were not given ambition by accident. You were not given vision by accident. The desire for more exists because more is possible, not guaranteed. Possible. And possibility becomes reality when action meets belief. So believe bigger. Think bigger. Act bigger. Refuse to shrink your vision to fit someone else's limitations. Refuse to lower your standards because others are uncomfortable with your growth. Refuse to apologize for becoming everything you were created to be. The future belongs to those who are brave enough to claim it. And deep inside, you already know that. You can feel it. The whisper has been there all along. The whisper that tells you to keep going. The whisper that refuses to let your dreams die. The whisper that grows louder whenever you settle for less than your potential. Listen to it. Trust it. Follow it. Because every pulse of your heart is carrying a message older than your fears, stronger than your doubts, greater than your circumstances. A message that says your journey is not over. A message that says your breakthrough is approaching. A message that says the best version of yourself is waiting just beyond the horizon. Keep moving toward it, one step, one choice, one day, one heartbeat at a time. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this journey is realizing that the person you are searching for has been searching for you as well. The future version of you, the one who has already conquered the fear, built the vision, created the wealth, mastered the discipline, and discovered true confidence, is reaching backward through time, hoping you will not quit. Imagine that for a moment. Imagine meeting the person you will become 10 years from now. They walk into the room, carrying a calm strength that cannot be shaken. Their eyes hold wisdom earned through struggle. Their posture reflects certainty. Their presence commands respect without demanding attention. And when they look at you, they do not criticize your mistakes. They do not focus on your failures. They do not remind you of everything you have done wrong. Instead, they ask a simple question. Why did you ever doubt me? Because from their perspective, every obstacle you are facing right now eventually became part of the story. Every setback became a lesson. Every rejection became redirection. Every disappointment became preparation. Every painful season became proof that you were stronger than you realized. The future version of you already knows something you do not know yet. They know that you make it. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, not because every plan works perfectly, not because luck arrives and rescues you. You make it because you refuse to stop. That is the secret. Percent outlasts talent. Consistency outlasts motivation. Discipline outlasts emotion. And endurance outlasts almost everything. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in a week and underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years. They look at the mountain and feel discouraged. They forget that mountains are climbed one step at a time. They look at successful people and feel intimidated. They forget that every success story began with uncertainty. They look at greatness and see the result. They never see the countless invisible decisions that created it. Success is hidden inside ordinary days, inside mornings when nobody is watching, inside evenings when quitting would be easier, inside moments when discipline matters more than motivation. That is where champions are created, not on stages, not in headlines, not in celebrations, in private, in silence, in commitment, long before the world notices. There will come a day when people see your success and call you lucky. Smile when that day arrives. Because you will remember the sacrifices they never saw. You will remember the nights when you continued, despite exhaustion. You will remember the mornings when you chose discipline over comfort. You will remember the moments when belief was your only resource. And you will know the truth. Luck may open a door, but preparation determines whether you can walk through it. This is why your current season matters so much. Even if progress feels slow, even if results feel distant, even if nobody understands your vision, you're building foundations. And strong foundations are rarely exciting. Nobody celebrates the roots of a tree, yet the roots determine how high the tree can grow. Nobody admires the foundation beneath a skyscraper, yet the foundation determines whether the building survives the storm. The same principle applies to your life. Your habits are roots. Your character is a foundation. Your discipline is structural strength. The things that seem invisible today become the reason you stand tall tomorrow. Never rush what requires development. A river reaches the ocean not because it is powerful every second. It reaches the ocean because it keeps moving. That persistence is available to you. That resilience is available to you. That greatness is available to you. You do not need to become someone else. You need to become more fully yourself, the version of yourself untouched by fear, the version of yourself unchained by limiting beliefs. The version of yourself that understands abundance is not something you chase. It is something you create. Abundance begins in the mind. A poor mindset sees obstacles. A wealthy mindset sees possibilities. A poor mindset focuses on scarcity. A wealthy mindset focuses on value. A poor mindset asks, what if I fail? A wealthy mindset asks, what if I succeed beyond anything I imagined? Your future is influenced by which question you ask repeatedly. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant grows. Plant doubt and doubt multiplies. Plant fear and fear expands. Plant vision and opportunities begin to appear. Plant belief and action follows. Plant discipline and success becomes inevitable. Guard your mental environment with the same intensity that a king guards his kingdom. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves your energy. Not every distraction deserves your focus. You are building something too important to waste your life reacting to everything around you. Focus is a superpower in a distracted world. Focus creates advantage in a noisy world. Focus creates clarity in a confused world. Focus creates direction. The people who achieve extraordinary things are often not the smartest people in the room. They are the people who stay focused long enough for their efforts to compound. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in existence. A small improvement repeated daily becomes transformation. A small investment repeated consistently becomes wealth. A small act of courage repeated regularly becomes confidence. Never underestimate the power of small actions performed with relentless consistency. Greatness rarely arrives in giant leaps. It arrives through accumulated victories. And one day, seemingly without warning, everything changes. The lessons connect, the opportunities align, the momentum accelerates, the vision becomes reality. People call it an overnight success. You know it was years in the making. That moment is coming. Not because the universe owes you anything, not because destiny rewards wishful thinking, because effort produces outcomes, because growth creates opportunity, because resilience builds capacity, because committed people eventually separate themselves from those who merely hoped. So keep going, keep learning, keep building, keep believing, keep becoming. And whenever uncertainty appears, return to the rhythm that has accompanied you since the beginning. Play your hand over your heart. Feel that pulse, that steady beat, that unwavering rhythm. It has never abandoned you. Through every storm, it remained. Through every setback, it remained. Through every disappointment, it remained, like a loyal messenger carrying a sacred reminder. A reminder that your story still has pages left to write. A reminder that your potential has not been exhausted. A reminder that your future remains unwritten. And if you listen closely enough, beyond the noise, beyond the fear, beyond the limitations imposed by the world, you may hear the message hidden within every beat. A message spoken by possibility itself. A message spoken by destiny. A message spoken by the greatness waiting inside you. Every pulse of my heart whispers your name, not because you are ordinary, not because you are average, but because there is something within you that the world has not fully seen yet. Something powerful, something rare, something capable of transforming dreams into reality. The journey is not ending. It is only beginning, and your next chapter may become the one that changes everything.